In this video, we are going to create a flow document scroll viewer control, and then we are going to see how we can display document in it. So first you create a WPF application using Visual Studio. I'm using Visual Studio 2010, which is available free beta version right now. So if you don't have Visual Studio 2010, go to msdn.com and download the beta version. Now, after creating a Windows WPF application, what I'm going to do is let's create a flow document scroll viewer control. As you can see, there are three flow document controls available in IntelliSense. One is flow document page viewer, flow document reader, flow document scroll viewer. I'm going to discuss these controls one at a time, but this time I'm going to use flow document scroll viewer, and each of these control has its own purpose. And purpose of the scroll viewer flow document control to add scrolling feature to a flow document. By the way, all the contents of a document is displayed just in one page, so there's no paging concept in here. It's just a scrolling concept. So if you have really a long page where you want to display everything on one page with the scrolling, that's what you want to use. And its control is very simple. There's not much functionality here. So let's create. What I do is I create a flow document, a scroll viewer in XAML. I'm going to give it a name. Give it a name, FlowDoc SW. That's my name. Then I can also set width. Let's set width to say 300. I set height, say 400. And I also set border brush to say dark gray. Oh, come on. So my flow document scroll viewer is ready now. Now, a flow document scroll viewer can only display one flow document at a time. So what I'm going to create now is create a flow document. I'm not going to discuss flow document in more details here because I have another video that just talks about documents and how to how to differentiate between flow document and a fixed document and how to create and work with them. This one is just simply how to use the flow document scroll viewer to display and scroll the documents in it. So I'm giving name to my flow document, and within flow document, if I type anything, I am a flow document, it does not take it. So you have to either start with sections or paragraph, which I'm going to discuss in my other videos. In this, I'm going to discuss as much as I need. So what I'm doing here is I create a paragraph, and this paragraph is added to the flow document. So as you can see here, within a flow document, I have added a paragraph, and whatever you type within the paragraph, as you can see here, you can see in the flow document scroll viewer control already. Now you can set fonts, or you can format background, foreground, font name, font family, styles, everything based on any element in XAML. Which is good part in WPF is that any, like for example, if I set font for say font family Wordana, font size say 20, as you can see, the paragraph, whatever content you have in the paragraph is set to whatever I set for the flow document. Now let's do one more thing. I set font family to Georgia and font size to 12. Now you can see the content is taken from the paragraph only. So if you want to set font for the whole document, you want to set that in flow document. But if you want to break it down for a paragraph, for a section, for a line, for a run, then you set them individually the way I have just did here. Now I'm actually going to add two run to this flow document. I'm going to discuss run element in later in my document discussion. And this is my second run. What I'm going to do is I also make this second run bold. The reason I'm doing that is because I need to differentiate the two. Okay, what's wrong? Run, bold. Object is not, so say run right here. I have bold. Let's remove bold for a second. Let's see what the problem is here. Should be alright. It's just giving an error. It's designer is not that good yet. So let's try to run it. Actually, let's change the second run to in second run. In first run. Let's run it. See if we get any error. Looks like we are good. We're good to go. It's just the designer does not support these refreshments. So as you can see here, this is my document contents being displayed in a flow document scroll viewer. And as one more thing you may notice is vertical scroll bar is available here. By default it's visible, but as you can see there is no horizontal scroll bar. Viewer supports both scroll bars, but by default one is horizontal is hidden and vertical is visible, but you can make both them by setting the properties. Anyway, so this was just a simple example. Now let's look at a larger formatted document, and that's when you will really see how this scroll viewer works. So I already have code written here to save us some time, and then I can discuss the code, but if I start typing it's going to take a lot more time. So what I'm going to do actually now, what I have done is I've created a bigger flow document. So I have this flow document scroll viewer. I have its width and height set here. Border brush is dark gray. Within that I have a flow document. Flow document has a bunch of paragraphs. It is section. I start with the section, then section has one paragraph, and each section has its own font and background and foreground colors, as you can see. So first I create a header. It says learn about Mindcracker network. Then I have a second section that just adds the description. So we can go through this code, but this is actually discussion of the document video I'm going to work on. This is just, here we are just going to see how we use the flow document scroll viewer. So let's run this sample. So as you can see, when I run the sample, my document contents are displayed here, and I can use this vertical scroll bar to scroll the contents, and my width and height of the viewer is fixed. But if you do not set width or height, it will take automatically the full size of the window. So let's try one more thing. One more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the height and width. No, not the window, sorry, this is wrong one. I did Control Z, that's not good. So what I'm going to do is I'll remove the width and height from my flow document scroll viewer. As soon as I do that, you'll see whole window is taken 100%. So now run it. Now let's see the difference. So now this is how my window in the document viewer looks like. So if you resize it, contents will be resized based on the resizing of the window. So that's that. So now you just saw how, as you can also see, there is no viewer right now. Viewer will be available only when you actually resize contents and they don't fit in the on the window. And in my document discussion, I'll also discuss this formatting, how you can create documents with formatted documents, which they look much nicer. You can have tables, images, figures, a bunch of elements in it. Um, Before I close this video, one more thing I want to discuss is how to create and load dynamic flow documents in a flow document scroll viewer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this flow document part of this YAML. So now only simply I have is a flow document scroll viewer and name is FlowDoc.sw. Now let's look at I'm going to the code where I already have a so I have already written the code because I don't want to type it. Typing takes a lot of time. So what I have done here is so I have a method called create dynamic flow document. Create a dynamic flow document. In this method, what I do is I create a flow document, I create a paragraph, and add runs to that paragraph using the paragraph.inlines. After that, what I do is I add this paragraph to my flow document. And this method actually returns a flow document. And what I do in my constructor of this window, which is being called when you run the application, I set document of my flow document scroll viewer to new document we just created in a create a dynamic flow document method. Now we don't need really print here. Print actually does is there's a print method. It just prints the document to your default printer. I was doing my testing for my other printing application, but by just setting the document property to a new flow document, it will just display the document in the viewer. So let's run it. Now as you can see, I created that document. It's being displayed in my document viewer. That's all for now. In my next video, I'm going to discuss other document viewers, and then I'm also going to create some videos on the document, how to create document, and how to add various elements to a document. As always, I like to hear feedback from you. If you like the video or you do not like the video, how can we improve this? How can I improve this video? Please post your feedback and comments at the bottom of this article.